Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We've actually had a big red oak tree that has died and it fell across our fence and it actually damaged the fence. And we got to get that cut up and moved out of the way. As you can see, I've made some headway on it already. I've been coming out here for about the past 2 days just whenever I've had a chance. And this is what I've been able to get done so far. Now, I've got an assortment of cutting tools. I've got a gas-powered chainsaw. I've got a battery-powered chainsaw. I've got my Silky Saw Katana Boy. I've got a machete, because there's plenty of vines, as you guys are going to see in a moment, that need to be cleared out as well. Now, in general, these logs, we're going to try to cut them up into about 16-inch sections here. I've got 16 inches measured out on my tape here. As you can see, some of these are just a little bit longer, so we got to get those trimmed up. Hopefully I can get to that today. We have some more limbs that we need to saw down, and of course the biggest concern is going to be safety. So when you're thinking about safety, always protect your eyes. As you can see, I got some protective eyewear on today. Protect your ears. I've got some ear muffs. Good solid leather gloves to protect your hands. Good solid footwear. You don't want to be out here wearing sandals. And of course, plenty of water, because it's hot out here. I'm just sitting here. I'm already sweating. So today is going to be over whenever we run out of gas, run out of water, or run out of energy. Alright, so the first thing we got to do is just kind of survey everything, make sure it's all still good. When you're working with trees like this, keep a good eye on your work site, you know. Things could have shifted overnight. The tree could have, leaned one way or the other. One part of it may not be stable, even though it was yesterday. You could have a den of copperheads that moved in under a log or something like that. You don't want to be surprised by something of that nature whenever you got a chainsaw in your hand. So we're going to look around our work site here and kind of make a plan for today. Stay tuned. Okay guys, these are our cutting tools that we got out here. We got the Poland Wood Shark. It's got a 14-inch bar on it. We've got the Black & Decker battery-powered chainsaw. It's got an 8-inch bar. We've got the Silky Saw Katana Boy. And we have a USGI machete there. It's going to help with some of the vines. Now this is what we're working with. You see where it damaged the fence. And all this is just a big tangled mess of grapevines and dead oak limbs. This right here, I think I'm going to cut that as high as I can. For that I'm going to use the Silky Saw because it's got more reach than anything else that I got. I'm also going to cut this one. I think I'm going to leave these here for right now. It's going to be probably the last thing that I do because these limbs are providing some shade. These limb sections here, I can cut those back with the gas-powered chainsaw. I'm going to get some good firewood out of those. Some of these smaller sections in here, I think I'm going to hit that up with the electric chainsaw. There's a good section there. It's about 6 or 7 feet long. That looks like a good job for the electric chainsaw as well. I mainly use that to clean up some of the larger sections that are just a little bit too small to get with the gas-powered chainsaw. Okay. And at some point we'll have to drag out all these limbs out of the trail. Alright, so looks like everything is still pretty stable. So let's get cutting. I think the first thing that I'm going to do is start on these limb sections here that are kind of poking out. Okay, so I just wasted about an hour and a half because I got the chainsaw stuck right there. I didn't realize that there was the wrong kind of pressure on this log. So whenever I started cutting into that, it pinched the blade in there and I couldn't get it out. So I had to go back and get an axe and a splitting wedge in between that and pretty much using up all the battery on my electric chainsaw. I was able to cut a big wide notch out of there until I could break that free and relieve the pressure on that so that I could get my chainsaw blade back out. Alright, but now that that is done, I can finish cutting up the rest of this log. Alright, so this is what we got. I've cut all these pieces all the way back to the main trunk. I've cut all these here, all of these up to that point, and I've started working on some of this smaller stuff here, as you can see. Now all this is now ready to be stacked up. Before I do that, I want to take care of these overhanging limbs. We've made some good progress. Alright, so this looks like a good job for the silky saw. It has a little bit more reach than anything else that I've got. There's one. Alright, now we've already used up most of the battery on this, but just to show you how well it works. I got this big log here. I'm going to try to cut this into some sections. There you go. Alright, I'm taking a little bit of a break here. Starting to run low on water. Now I brought plenty of it with me, but I've been going through these bottles like they're nothing. So I want to go ahead and wrap this up. I think actually clearing out all the limbs and branches and everything that's down on the trail right now, you know, they're all covered in those grapevines. That can wait for another day. What I want to get done today is actually stacking up the wood that we've already cut, because this is going to be some high quality firewood here. This is red oak. You know, this is going to be good stuff once it's all seasoned. Now I kind of doubt that I've got enough to even make a face cord of wood, which would be 4 feet tall, 8 feet long, with the logs approximately 16 inches. But we should get kind of close, hopefully. So, alright, so after this break, stay tuned. Alright, you guys probably already know this, but if you're stacking firewood, you don't want your firewood to actually be making contact with the ground. That's because it's going to accumulate moisture right there, and it's going to rot your firewood. So what I've done is I've taken a couple logs here and I've laid them sideways so that I can stack my firewood on top of them, and I don't have to worry about my firewood rotting. You also don't want to use rotten wood for your bottom piece here, because chances are it's got bugs in it. And you don't want bugs like termites in your firewood, especially if you have a log cabin. You know, you take your firewood, you put it next to your cabin, then all of a sudden your cabin's got termites. You want to avoid that. So just do what you can. And now we're ready to continue stacking. This is what we ended up with. It is just a little bit over 9 feet long and just a little bit over 4 feet tall at the highest point. Now, if this were square, a big square stack, we would have just over a face cord of wood, but since it's kind of a triangle shape here, I figure we got just a little bit under that. All the same, that is a lot of work for one person to take care of, but hey, we got all the hard stuff done. Now all we got to do is let it sit, let it season. Once it's all dried out and everything, then we'll take some of these larger logs and split them into firewood size chunks, and it's going to save a lot of money on firewood. When you're not spending $200 to $300 every time you turn around, hey, it's a good thing, right? So anyways, that is all the time that I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, thumbs up.